were making ice last night. Sweet. Check that out. Oh, does it look cold? It's cold out. I thought this would be a perfect day to share with you guys some of the tips that I use to make sure that my camper is ready for this weather. I'm gonna be honest with you right now, I'm going back inside. Let me catch you guys up how I got here. I'm gonna go back to bed. What a chilly day out. Ugh. The temperature out, it's about 29 degrees, but honestly, it's the wind today. The wind's been really heavy. So I think if I get deep into the woods, I can kind of get away from some of that. Getting in mid-November now, so the sun goes down around 4:30. Tonight, I think I'm just gonna take it easy, get set up, maybe go for a walk. Tomorrow, hopefully I can go on a bike ride. I brought the bike with, hoping that the weather's nice enough. This is a nice campground. During the summer, it gets pretty busy. In fact, I haven't been here in probably 20 years. I would not be surprised if it's completely empty. So far, so good. Well, we found our spot. I love coming out here when it's empty. And it's not that I don't like people. It's just that it's nice to be alone sometimes. And I love when you can get out here, have all of this to ourselves. This looks kind of cool. I'll give you a tip about using these grills. So I see a lot of people on YouTube cook on them. I used to as well, until I noticed all the people that would pee on them while they put out their fires. A lot of people do that. It's disgusting. I've seen it multiple times. So take it for what it's worth. I don't cook on them anymore. I used to make steaks and sausages on them all the time. No. So let me know in the comments. You guys ever walk through a campground, see someone peeing their fire out? It happens, especially late at night after a couple of drinks. Tonight's supposed to be that lunar eclipse, and I parked in this campground to get a good shot of the west. So hopefully, fingers crossed, it's not a cloudy night and I can get that on video. That would be really cool. Dang, that's a good looking truck and camper. It's not going to warm up outside, so let's just start in here. First, let's talk about the camper. This is an Arctic Fox M860. It's a comfortable camper in the winter, but even with that being said, come January and February, it's going to get to 30, 40, sometimes 50 below. And this camper, it's just not comfortable in those temps. But at 0, 5, 10 degrees Fahrenheit, this camper is really comfortable. Having a 4-season camper can make the difference between a comfortable winter excursion and a pretty poor one. With that being said, there's still things that I do to make sure that this camper is ready for the cold. One of the first things I do is put reflex on the windows. It really helps. This camper has a skylight, and even that I'll put the reflex on. It's amazing how much cold air that reflex will keep out of the camper and holds the warm air inside. Keeping the curtain shut, it's a really good idea too. I do have a little buddy propane heater. I bring that along just as kind of a emergency backup. I've used it once in the camper here, ran it all night long, didn't have a problem with it, didn't have any issues, but I did leave the vent above my bed open. One of the other things that we'll have to talk about is the water situation. I still have water in the camper, and it's been getting down into the single digits at night. I'll keep water in here through December. Come January, that's when I'll fully winterize the camper. I'll still get out and use it, but I just won't keep any water in the camper. There's a couple of things that I do to make sure that my water's not going to freeze. The same reflex that I've put on the windows, I've used in the storage compartment doors. I have a rear door on my Arctic Fox that opens up to the dump bells. And that door is not insulated at all. So having the reflex in there, that helps a lot. I also put an extra layer of reflex behind every storage door on the outside of the camper. One of the cool things about this camper is that the basement, like a lot of campers, holds the gray water and black water tanks. My water lines are run through that area as well. When I'm running the furnace in this Arctic Fox, there's a little fan right underneath the bathroom that carries the air from inside underneath into the basement. It does work really well, but I added a supplemental fan underneath to make sure that it really carries that air. When it gets really cold at night, I'll also leave my lower cabinet doors open. That way it pushes this warm air underneath to where all the water lines are run. This camper has a compartment where the dump valves are kept. If there was going to be a place on this camper that was going to freeze, that's going to be it. So what I did is I piggybacked off an outlet I already had in the camper and added another one down below. That's where I keep a 750 watt ceramic heater. I'll run that all day long, all night long. I can keep that bottom compartment in the mid 40s, even when it's single digits outside. I'm just going to break in really quick here. Do I think that it's a good idea for you guys to put an electric heater in your storage compartment? No, I don't. And the reason why is because you're taking on a big liability. You should know that you could burn your whole camper down with you inside, and that would suck. So just make sure that you guys do your own research, know your skill set, and have a little bit of an idea of what you're doing. I check on that compartment constantly, make sure things aren't getting too hot, make sure no wires are melting or anything like that. I told you guys in my generator video, I learned by trial and error, and it works. Sometimes it doesn't. Let's get back to it. One way that I monitor the temperatures in the basement of the camper is I went on Amazon, bought a thermostat that came with 3 wireless temperature probes. I keep one of them down by my dump valves, the other one I keep by the fresh water, and I have a third one that's located by my shower valves. That way I can monitor the temperature under the cupboards and in the basement just to make sure that my stuff ain't freezing. So one of the downfalls of camping in the winter for me, I use my generator a lot. Because the ceramic heater, that's not going to run off my batteries and solar panel. I did install an inverter on the truck, and the inverter is powerful enough to keep that ceramic heater going. The only disadvantage is, in order to power the inverter, I gotta make sure that I leave my truck running. Otherwise my house batteries are gonna get drawn down way too fast. Another thing I can't stress the importance of enough is gonna be a good dehumidifier. I bought one off Amazon. If you guys are out winter camping, I think you should look at investing in one yourself. I think the biggest thing is starting out with a good camper. You almost have to start out with a 4-season camper to make sure that you're going to stay comfortable for when it gets down to those single digits. Let's go outside. So I told you guys a couple of weeks ago that I usually get ice fishing by Thanksgiving. And I think this year it's gonna work again. If you take a look in the cracks of the ice, you can see that the ice is probably about 1.5 inches thick already. It would be nice to be a little bit thicker. A lot of times if I want to do really early ice, I'll bring out a 2x12, 10 foot long, lay that on the ice to spread the weight out. It's always a little unnerving when the ice is so clear. I think I've got 5 more days before Thanksgiving. It's not going to get above freezing the next 5 days. In fact, the nights have been getting down into the single digits. So yeah, the streak's going to continue. Where it gets freaky out here is when it goes from seeing the bottom to not being able to see the bottom anymore. I did have an employee of the state park come through this morning, and I talked to him a little bit. He was explaining to me that he actually works out of another park, probably 45 minutes from here, and that this place is not manned and it's part of the state forest. It's not actually a park. So this campground is part of a state forest. He works for the parks, but he decided to come here this morning and check it out anyways, because unfortunately this campground is known to be a little loud and sometimes get trashed. So he was just going through. He did say that, you know, after deer hunting, it pretty much gets quiet here, and that's why I came out to this campground in late November, because I didn't want to put up with the crowds. I was here probably 20 some odd years ago, and it was loud. It was very loud here. But if you can brave the cold, get out here in the wintertime, you can have this whole place to yourself. I've been on this bike for a month, and I've been itching to get back on here. So it's cold out, but it's still beautiful, and I really enjoy it. This is just fun. I love riding this thing. If you guys get the opportunity to try an electric bike, jump on one. They are an absolute blast. I love this bike. You know, it's crazy how something so simple like this bike can just bring so much fun to camping. If you haven't had an opportunity to check one out, I definitely suggest you try it. And if you have issues with riding a regular bike or getting around on trails, you might be surprised at how easy these things are to control. think we got this video in the bag. Big thank you if you've stuck around this long. An even bigger thank you if you're one of the people that has helped get this channel up over 1,000 subscribers. 70% of the people that watch this channel are not subscribed. If you're one of those 70, just think about hitting the subscribe button. I do really want to thank all of you though that come along on these weekly travels with me. I hope you enjoy some of the content that I'm able to make for you guys. I really enjoy doing them. It gives me something to look back on. It's going to give something for my family to look back on. So it's a little piece of me that I'm putting out there to share, and I hope that somebody somewhere can get some enjoyment out of it. I've got this rapport built with a group of people that leave these comments every week, and it's really kind of cool what the channel has become. So yeah. All right, so we're gonna leave it at that. Next week, I've got something pretty cool planned. I've got no clue what we're gonna do next week. Stick around, find out. Remember, be kind, be honest. We'll see you down the road.